What are the signs that just scream someone is in love with you? When someone constantly looks at you and can't hold back a smile, especially in cases when you're not even acquainted, although it could also mean someone has spread a funny rumor about you. When I was 23, some 12 or 13-year-old boy always sat next to me on the bus when I was going to work, and he was heading to school. I enjoyed chatting with him because he was a nice guy, but I suspected he had a bit of a crush on me. Why else would he sit next to an adult woman when he could have sat with his peers? I must admit, it flattered me a little when he asked about my life and looked at me as if I were the most interesting person in the world. One day, my boyfriend rode with me to the city. We were holding hands, laughing. It was obvious we were together. That boy came in with a poster tube in his hands, saw us, and froze in place. He looked completely crushed. He never sat with me or spoke to me again. His face had such a sad expression that I felt sorry for him. I'm afraid I broke his heart. When someone laughs at your silly, unfunny jokes, does that mean I'm in love with all my guy friends? When I fall in love with someone, I try to avoid them. During the last 3 years of school, I was in love with a girl. I tried to avoid her, sometimes even pretending she didn't exist. Then I graduated, and nothing ever happened between us. It's amazing how many comments there are. Brothers and sisters, we've all experienced something like this. You all understand how I feel. We should support each other. Life goes on. Don't think that if things didn't work out with a certain guy or girl, you're doomed to eternal loneliness. You'll still find someone who will love you, but relationships don't just happen on their own. Step out of your shell, move toward happiness, stay true to yourself, and don't obsess over the dream of finding the love of your life. You'll find it if you move toward it. Life is full of surprises, so don't worry about anything. When someone constantly smiles in your presence, remembers details about your life, asks a lot of personal questions during conversations, messages you, touches their hair, lightly brushes your arm when laughing at something you said, or maintains eye contact without looking away, they might be mimicking you, copying how you sit, your mannerisms, and so on. If you're in a group with both guys and girls, and one girl chats lively with all the guys but gets shy when talking to one specific guy, it means she's in love with him. So far, this is the most useful sign I've seen, although it could also mean she strongly dislikes that guy. But that would be too simple, wouldn't it? When a girl dislikes a guy, she's much more confident talking to him because she doesn't care about his opinion unless she's afraid of him, of course. When I was a teenager, there was a guy among my friends who every girl in our group had a crush on at some point. This guy was obsessed with the color yellow and always wore something yellow. You could always tell which of our friends was in love with him at the moment because she'd suddenly start wearing yellow too. None of them succeeded, though. He only dated one girl during our teenage years, and they were together for almost 3 years. She never wore yellow. I'd only realize someone is in love with me if they told me directly, "I'm in love with you." Other signs are unknown to me. Even if someone shouted it at me, I'd think they were joking or lost a bet. When you lock eyes with someone, and they immediately look away because they were staring at you for a while when you weren't looking, that's a sign. When someone is very open with you, it's a good sign. I can give 4 arguments for this. 1. When I like a girl, I always try to start a conversation with her. 2. When a girl likes me, she easily engages with me, and it's easy for me to start a conversation with her. 3. When a girl doesn't like me, she'll answer my questions and act friendly but avoid eye contact. 4. When I like a girl who might like me, I'll try to avoid talking to her or end the conversation quickly to avoid giving her false hope. When someone lurks on your social media and accidentally likes an old photo or post, you can cover it up by liking 10 more posts and sending a message like, "Hey, what's up?" They're thrilled when they hear from you but struggle to keep the conversation going, with long pauses and staring at their shoes. That's a major sign. Once, I accidentally liked a post from 2007 on Facebook. I recently found out that the girl I share an apartment with, along with 7 or 8 of her friends, created a shared Instagram account where they post random photos downloaded from the internet. They use this account to follow guys they like and keep tabs on their lives or follow guys their close friends are dating if they suspect he has a fake account. I also learned they're not the only ones doing this, many of their friends create shared fake accounts too. I think that's just wild. My friends I play video games with on Discord agree with me, though not all girls do this. A fake account is convenient because you don't have to worry about accidentally liking someone's old post. When I sit next to someone, and our legs accidentally touch, and they don't move their leg away, I start imagining we'll be together for the rest of our lives. I must be very lonely. You must love riding buses. At a cafe I used to visit, there was a girl who worked there and had a crush on me. Sometimes when I got up to leave, she'd say, "Where are you going?" "Stay, I'll bring you some nachos." It was hard to say no to that. She'd buy them with her employee discount and bring a huge plate of nachos, and we'd sit and eat them together. It's easy to fall in love like that. When someone looks at you every time you're not looking at them, you won't notice it, only others will. When I was in 8th grade, I fell in love with a blonde schoolboy. One day in the cafeteria, I noticed him talking to a mutual friend. I couldn't take my eyes off him because I was so in love. I was chatting with my friend about something unrelated when he suddenly noticed I kept looking at the blonde guy. He also said that every time I wasn't looking at him, he was looking at me. 7 years later, we're married with kids. When someone always finds a reason to be near the object of their affection, that's a sign. Once at work, I went to eat a second lunch because a colleague I was in love with invited me to buy food from a food truck. I was so full and mad at myself all day for eating so much. I met my wife at the gym. I started going there every day at the same time, hoping to run into her again. Later, I befriended her friends and went to the same events she did. If we were driving somewhere in a big group, I always tried to get in the same car as her. Once, I noticed the girl I was in love with standing at the other end of the lobby with her back to me. I rushed over to pretend I tripped and bumped into her leg. I don't know how I came up with that idea. In the end, I actually hit her leg hard, and I wasn't even that young at the time. My God, I did something like that once too. I wanted to sneak up and hug her but got scared it'd be too forward, so I didn't stop in time and crashed right into her leg. They make an effort to be near you, even if it's inconvenient. They start sharing things they find funny, interesting, or important with you, even if they don't share them with others. When you get up early to take the subway to have breakfast with her, even if you have no plans that day, that's what a girl I went to college with did. She'd wake me up every morning with a shy knock on my door and ask if I wanted to have breakfast. Naturally, I never refused. Every evening, she'd go around all the rooms to say goodnight and always managed to visit my room last. She'd stay a bit longer, and no one noticed except my roommate. We were like the parents of our floor. We dated for 2 years. When you say something in later, before bed, ask yourself, why did I say that? I performed in a theater with a girl I was in love with. Sometimes, for fun, she'd pretend to be offended if I said something slightly hurtful, making me worry I'd actually upset her. I think she knew I was in love with her. Trying to compliment her, I once told her, "You're so good at pretending to be offended." She replied, "Pretending? Damn it, you think I'm pretending? By the way, I'm an aspiring actor." When they laugh the loudest at your jokes, say your name often, constantly look at you, comment on your Facebook posts, or like your posts in games, that's a sign. As soon as I get a girlfriend, I start thinking every girl I know is in love with me because I gain confidence. There are even scientific studies proving women tend to fall for men who are already taken or men other women are in love with. In one study, women were shown a photo of a man standing next to a woman and then a photo of a man alone. Almost all the women found the man in a relationship more attractive. They rated the lone man's attractiveness lower. Another study showed women found men more attractive when they were with more attractive women. Guy, how's it going? Girl, good. How about you? Guy, good. And you? When you act overly reserved, maybe it's just me, I'm deeply in love with a girl, but being a complete idiot, I did everything to push her out of my life. Just yesterday, we talked, and I apologized for acting like a total jerk. It's definitely not just you. My boyfriend and I were the same. We avoided each other and acted very reserved. I genuinely thought he hated me because he seemed to treat me worse than everyone else. He was so polite with others, constantly chatting with other girls at work, but he avoided me. And we're both over 30. People are such strange creatures. They start wanting to spend more time with you. They touch you more gently than before, like touching your knee or nudging you with their elbow. Almost everyone misses such an obvious sign as comparing hand sizes as an excuse to touch the object of their affection. You also boast more or talk about things to get their attention, even if you usually don't like to brag. Or when you accidentally lock eyes and quickly look away as if you've committed a crime, then look back at them. Another small but obvious sign is when you smile around the person you're in love with, a smile only a lovesick person could have. Who wouldn't smile around someone they love? It's almost impossible, except when you blush like a lobster and stay silent as a fish. When I'm in love, I always come up with the wildest excuses to be closer to that person, even if it's not entirely appropriate. I always tried to act smart and came up with reasons to be near them. All my hopes crumbled when he once chose to sit at the same table as me, but probably to get closer to my friend. It comforted me that he at least knew my name. I think a very clear sign of being in love, which I noticed by observing myself, is when someone acts the opposite of their usual self around a certain person. For example, I'm usually shy, introverted, and awkward around others. But when I'm in love, I suddenly find I can hold a conversation, though it doesn't always go well, and I try to speak louder and more confidently. I smile and laugh more than usual because I normally try not to show emotions. Around the girl I'm in love with, I become more playful and so on. I have a friend who's a loud extrovert, but when he falls in love, he acts completely different around that girl. He becomes quiet, shy, reserved, and watches what he says and how he says it. It's really amusing. Be sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss new, super interesting discussions. In the meantime, check out our other videos.